Welcome to the Shadow of History channel. Be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out more videos like this one. A young boy sits amidst the brick rubble of a bombed-out street, clutching a stuffed animal for comfort. Tony Frizzle's powerful image serves as a universal symbol of the innocence lost and the resilience found during the devastation of World War II. Crew members adjust a massive physical model on the set of the original Star Wars before the advent of green screens and digital effects. Visionary filmmakers relied on practical models and intricate hand-built sets to create a galaxy far, far away. A photographic timeline tracks the legendary career of Robert De Niro through the decades, from his breakout roles in the 70s to his status as a cinematic icon. These images document the evolution of one of Hollywood's most versatile and enduring actors. Actors Diana Rigg and Anthony Hopkins posed together during rehearsals for Macbeth at the Old Vic under the direction of Michael Blakemore. This production brought together two of Britain's finest performers for a definitive take on Shakespeare's tragic power couple. A young Ricky Gervais, sporting the new romantic fashion of the early 80s, poses during his years as a pop singer long before finding global fame in comedy. He was the lead vocalist of the synth-pop duo Siona Dancing. William Shatner dressed as Captain. Kirk waves to fans from a Star Trek float during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. This public appearance highlighted the growing cultural phenomenon of the series just 1 year before its initial cancellation. Actor Christopher Reeve is shown before and after his physical transformation for the role of Superman through intense training with bodybuilder David Prowse. He gained the muscular physique necessary to bring the Man of Steel to life on the big screen. A group of sailors peers out from their ship as they arrive at the Manhattan docks. This candid moment captures the mix of excitement and anticipation for the young servicemen shortly before the United States officially entered World War II. A young Barack Obama stands with his father, Barack Obama Sr., during a rare visit. This photograph documents the only time the future president met his father after the age of 2, capturing a brief personal connection in a complex family history. Thousands of citizens take to the streets to celebrate the official repeal of the last remaining apartheid laws. This historic moment marked a turning point in the nation's journey toward democracy and the end of institutionalized racial segregation. Jean Manford marches alongside her gay son Morty during an early Pride parade. Her public support and iconic sign led to the founding of PFLAG, the first organization dedicated to families and allies of the LGBTQ+ community. Hundreds of paratroopers from the 187th Airborne Battalion fill the sky during a combat drop near Munsan. This massive military operation was part of the United Nations efforts to push back opposing forces during the height of the Korean War. The early staff of Microsoft poses for a group portrait in Albuquerque, New Mexico. This modest team of developers and visionaries, including Bill Gates and Paul Allen, would go on to launch a global technological revolution that redefined computing. Passers-by utilized the first public payphones installed on the streets of Los Angeles. These early telecommunication booths represented a major step in urban connectivity, allowing citizens to make calls on the go for the very first time. A farmer's daughter finds a quiet moment of escape, reading a book while resting on an iron bedstead. This intimate scene documents the simple pleasures of rural life amidst the social and economic changes of the early 1940s. Investigators document a cabin chimney where the mummified remains of Joshua Maddox were discovered 7 years after his disappearance. The tragic find solved a long-standing local mystery, though the circumstances of how he became trapped remain a haunting riddle. Crowds gather and glasses are raised as the clock strikes midnight, marking the official end of Prohibition after 13 years of a federal ban on alcohol. The nation celebrated the return of legal spirits and the dawn of a new social era. Aerial views reveal the near-total devastation of Tokyo following the firebombing raids of the Second World War. The charred landscape and skeletal remains of buildings stand as a grim testament to the overwhelming scale of the conflict's final months. King Farouk meets with Winston Churchill during a high-stakes diplomatic summit. Legend has it that the mischievous king, a notorious kleptomaniac, managed to pickpocket Churchill's pocket watch during the meeting, only to return it later after a formal request. A mother and aunt construct a creative Halloween costume for a young child battling pneumonia. The outfit, cleverly integrated with medical equipment, allowed the child to participate in the holiday festivities, despite their health challenges. Two students relax in their cluttered dorm room at the University of Illinois, surrounded by pennants. And in books, this image offers a rare glimpse into the early 20th century college experience and the timeless traditions of student life. Two neighbors lean over their garden fences for a quick chat, captured in a moment of quiet suburban connection. This candid scene documents the simple, everyday social interactions that define the fabric of local communities. Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, and Jack Lemmon pose on the set of the classic comedy Some Like It Hot. This legendary production overcame numerous challenges to become one of the most beloved and influential films in Hollywood history. Pop artist Andy Warhol is photographed browsing the aisles of a Gristed supermarket, purchasing the very soup cans that inspired his iconic work. This image bridges the gap between commercials, consumerism, and high art commentary. A group of lumberjacks stands beside a massive felled tree. Their hand tools resting against the ancient wood, these workers drove the industrial expansion of the nation, laboring in dangerous conditions to provide the raw materials for a growing empire. Knife grinders work in a unique horizontal position, lying on their stomachs to save their backs from the strain of hunching their loyal dogs, often rested on their legs, providing much-needed warmth during long, cold work days. Ronald Reagan and Gerald Ford share a conversation during a Halloween event in Los Angeles. This meeting of political giants occurred as the nation navigated the post-Watergate era and prepared for the upcoming 1976 presidential election. Record-breaking, athlete Bev Francis displays her incredible strength before transitioning into professional bodybuilding. Her massive physique and athletic versatility challenged traditional perceptions of female strength, making her a trailblazer in the world of powerlifting and physique. Weird Al Yankovic poses for his album cover a pitch-perfect parody of Michael Jackson's Bad This Era, marked a turning point for Yankovic as his sharp musical satire and high-production videos earned him a permanent place in pop culture. A high-performance Lamborghini is forced to come to a halt as two large buffaloes block the road. This striking image highlights the frequent and often surreal intersections between modern luxury and traditional life in rapidly developing regions. Jimmy and Rosalind Carter share an emotional embrace as election results confirm his victory. This private moment of triumph followed a grueling campaign signaling the beginning of a new chapter in American political history. A young Arnold Schwarzenegger shatters the Bavarian stone-lifting record, hoisting 254 kilograms. This early display of raw power occurred years before he became a global bodybuilding icon, proving his physical dominance from the very start. The government officially declares Pelé a national treasure to prevent him from being signed by wealthy European clubs. This unprecedented move ensured the IE football legend remained in his home country, fueling national pride and team success. Harrison Ford arrives at the Cannes Film Festival at the height of his fame as Indiana Jones and Han Solo. His presence at the prestigious event cemented his status as one of the world's premier leading men. Shoppers navigate the bustling aisles of a Toys R Us store, filled with the iconic playthings of the decade. This nostalgic scene captures the vibrant retail culture and the beloved toy brands that defined a generation's childhood. Professor Karen Wetterhahn is pictured in her laboratory shortly before a tragic accident involving dimethylmercury. Her death led to a global overhaul of laboratory safety protocols regarding high permeability gloves and the handling of lethal toxins. Albert Einstein and Marie Curie are seen strolling and talking by a lake. This rare photograph of two of history's greatest scientific minds captures a moment of friendship and intellectual exchange between the titans of physics. A couple recreates their 1967 motorcycle photo posing on the same bike 51 years later. This heartwarming comparison celebrates a lifetime of shared adventure and the enduring spirit of their youth across the decades. A street vendor captures the public's attention by wearing a suit entirely covered. In Real Peanuts, this eccentric marketing tactic highlights the creative and often bizarre ways merchants promoted their wares at the turn of the century. Actor Patrick Stewart kneels before Queen Elizabeth II at Buckingham Palace to receive his knighthood, recognized for his immense contributions to drama and film. The ceremony marked his transition from a respected actor to a knight of the realm. Tributes pour in for actress Prunella Scales, best known as the iconic Sybil Fawlty, following her passing at age 93. Her legendary career in British comedy and theater left an indelible mark on generations of viewers worldwide. An Appaloosa horse displays its striking spotted coat, a breed famously developed by the Nez Perce people, known for their endurance and intelligence. These horses are celebrated as a living piece of North American heritage and natural beauty. A group of children maneuvers a handmade wooden raft down a sunlit river captured in vibrant Kodachrome. This candid image evokes a sense of mid-century nostalgia and the simple, unsupervised outdoor adventures of childhood. The Teardrop Memorial stands as a powerful tribute to the victims of 9/11, gifted by Russia to the United States. The names of the fallen are inscribed at the base, creating a space for reflection and international solidarity. Workers at the Oldsmobile factory complete the final assembly of a new model. This high-speed production line demonstrates the peak of American industrial power and the booming post-war demand for the modern automobile. A mother smiles warmly as she holds her newborn twins surrounded by her 6 older children. This Agfa safety film portrait documents the hope and expanding families of the mid-40s in a beautifully candid family moment. Kyron Horman poses proudly in front of his science fair project shortly before disappearing from his elementary school. This remains the last known photograph of the 7-year-old whose case continues to haunt the community. Archaeologists carefully removed the final seals to open the tomb of King Tutankhamun. This historic discovery, documented by Harry Burton, sparked a global wave of Egyptomania and revealed the incredible treasures of the boy king. The crew of the Space Shuttle Challenger waves to onlookers while boarding for their final mission, this tragic flight, and which included schoolteacher Krista McAuliffe, became a defining moment in the history of space exploration and national mourning. An 18-year-old Prince Philip is photographed during his first significant meeting with 13-year-old Princess Elizabeth at Dartmouth. This encounter marked the beginning of a lifelong relationship that would define the British monarchy for 70 years. A satirical transit advertisement imagines London redesigned with American-style urban planning, featuring sprawling highways and massive parking lots. The campaign was designed to highlight the importance of preserving the city's historic pedestrian-friendly character. A young Michael Jackson visits the set of The Goonies, posing with the child cast during a break in filming. This rare behind-the-scenes moment brings together the biggest pop star of the era with a cinematic classic. Members of Run DMC and the Beastie Boys posed together during their historic joint tour. This collaboration helped bridge the gap between hip-hop and rock, bringing the genre into the mainstream and redefining pop culture. Jubilant crowds climb atop the Berlin Wall as the border finally opens after 28 years. This historic moment signaled the end of the Cold War and the beginning of German reunification, changing the world forever. Harriet Tubman is photographed at the age of 89, resting at her home in Auburn. This rare late-life portrait honors the legacy of the woman who led hundreds to freedom and served as a tireless advocate for justice. A Native American man sits on a hill overlooking the newly laid tracks of the Transcontinental Railroad. This powerful image documents the moment ancient landscapes and traditional ways of life were intersected by the unstoppable force of industrial expansion. A young Gene Wilder, then known as Jerome Silberman, poses for a portrait during his early years as an actor. This rare image captures the future comedy legend long before his iconic roles in Willy Wonka and Young Frankenstein. Ancient cat paw prints remain perfectly preserved in the 12th century floor tiles of St. Peter's Church. These accidental impressions offer a charming and intimate connection to the everyday life of a medieval English village. A gathering of music legends, including Mick Jagger, Tina Turner, and Bob Dylan, are photographed together backstage. This rare assembly of titans occurred during the height of their influence, marking a golden era for global pop and rock music. Kurt Cobain wears a dress during a performance to protest the discrimination and mistreatment of female acts in the music industry. This bold statement highlighted the Nirvana frontman's commitment to social justice and gender equality. A side-by-side comparison shows the evolution of British postal uniforms over a century. The transition from Victorian formal wear to practical wartime attire reflects the changing social and functional needs of the nation's mail service. Albert Einstein and Charlie Chaplin share a laugh at the premiere of City Lights. Their mutual admiration highlighted the bridge between scientific genius and cinematic artistry, celebrating two men who conquered the world with their unique visions. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew breaks down in tears on national television while announcing the separation of Singapore from Malaysia. This emotional moment marked the birth of an independent city-state under incredibly uncertain circumstances. Brad Pitt and Gwyneth Paltrow are photographed walking in the city during their high-profile relationship. This snapshot captures the peak of mid-90s celebrity culture and the iconic style of the era's most famous young couple. The star-studded cast of Pulp Fiction poses together during the promotion of Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece. This revolutionary film redefined independent cinema and revitalized the careers of several actors, becoming an instant cultural phenomenon. A young boy stares in fascination at a television set in an appliance store window. This candid moment captures the beginning of a new technological era that would soon transform the way the world consumed information and entertainment. A collection of photographs shows future American presidents on their wedding days. These private images offer a rare glimpse into the personal lives and youthful optimism of men who would eventually hold the nation's highest office. American soldiers use their combat helmets as a personal billboard scrawling messages of hope, protest, and survival. These improvised brain buckets provided a raw, unfiltered look into the minds of those serving on the front lines. Freddie Mercury relaxes aboard a Shinkansen bullet train during Queen's successful tour of the country. His love for Japanese culture was well known, and these candid moments reveal a quieter side of the legendary frontman away from the stage. President George W. Bush speaks at the Islamic Center to condemn Islamophobic attacks following the 9/11 tragedy. His visit aimed to promote religious tolerance and unity during one of the most tense periods in modern American history. AC. Gilbert releases a toy laboratory set that controversially included real samples of uranium. This Cold War-era atomic energy lab represents a time of scientific optimism before the full dangers of radioactive materials were widely understood by the public. A solid iron cannonball remains lodged in the brick wall of a house following the siege of Yorktown. This physical remnant of the American Revolution serves as a permanent reminder of the final major battle for American independence. Susie Phipps Guillory loses a legal battle to be classified as white after discovering her birth certificate listed her as colored. The case highlighted the state's controversial 132nd racial classification law, sparking a national debate on identity and civil rights. A young Chris. Farley poses as a camp counselor years before his legendary career on Saturday Night Live. This rare image captures the future comedy star's natural charisma and the infectious energy that would eventually make him a household name. Sylvester Stallone directs John Travolta on the set of the Saturday Night Fever sequel. Staying alive, this behind-the-scenes moment captures two of the decade's biggest stars collaborating to bring the world of professional dance to the big screen. Grand Duchess Anastasia Nikolaevna makes a funny face for the camera while her sister Olga rests in bed. These intimate family photographs humanize the Romanov family in the years leading up to the tragic end of the Russian monarchy. Queen Victoria wears a mourning dress following the death of her grandson, Prince Albert Victor, designed to accommodate her aging frame. This garment represents the monarch's final years of perpetual mourning and her enduring influence on Victorian fashion. Warlord Charles Taylor wins the presidential election with 75% of the vote, using a chilling and honest campaign slogan. His victory marked a dark chapter in the nation's history, eventually leading to international trials for war crimes. Quentin Roosevelt and Roswell Pinckney are photographed playing together on the White House steps. This charming image of the president's son and the son of a White House steward highlights a rare cross-social friendship during the early 20th century. A young Pamela Anderson is photographed at her home long before her global fame. These early portraits reveal the future icon with her natural hair color, providing a rare look at her life before the spotlight of Hollywood. A local laborer accidentally discovers the Shell Grotto, a mysterious 104-foot tunnel decorated with millions of seashells. To this day, the origin and purpose of this subterranean marvel remain one of England's most intriguing unsolved mysteries. A bronze statue stands in honor of the laboratory mice that have contributed to scientific breakthroughs. This unique memorial acknowledges the ethical complexities of animal research and the millions of lives given in the pursuit of medical progress. A young couple celebrates their war wedding amidst the uncertainty of the Second World War. The bride's elegant dress crafted despite wartime rationing serves as a symbol of hope and the persistence of love during the nation's darkest hours. A vintage photograph reveals a truly terrifying homemade Halloween costume from the early 20th century before mass-produced plastic masks. Holiday revelers used burlap and paint to create haunting, one-of-a-kind looks that are still unsettling today. A group of children poses in elaborate and eerie papier-mâché, masks for a neighborhood Halloween party. These vintage costumes highlight the folk art roots of the holiday and the creative lengths families went to for spooky fun. A woman enjoys the latest in post-war home entertainment, watching a boxing match on a new chairside console television priced at $250. This cutting-edge device promised improved visibility for multiple viewers, turning the living room into a private theater. Samir, who is paralyzed, sits on the shoulders of his blind friend Ahmed, serving as his eyes as they navigate the streets of Damascus. This legendary image documents a profound partnership of mutual aid and friendship that transcended physical limitations. A couple who jokingly sent a wedding invitation to Queen Elizabeth II is stunned when she and Prince Philip actually make a surprise appearance. The royal couple stop by to congratulate the newlyweds during a scheduled visit to the same building. Jesse Owens stands proudly on the podium after winning the gold medal in the long jump, defying the racial ideologies of the host nation. His victory, supported by the sportsmanship of his German rival Luz Long, remains a definitive moment in Olympic history. A 21-year-old Winston Churchill is photographed during his early years as a sub-lieutenant in the British Army. This rare portrait captures the future statesman long before he led the nation through the existential crisis of the Second World War. Destitute citizens find shelter in the Salvation Army's 4-penny coffin beds. For a few pence, the homeless were provided a safe place to lie down, a hot meal, and a brief respite from the harsh life of the city streets. Engineers and laborers gather for the official inauguration of the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio de Janeiro. This Art Deco masterpiece overlooking the city from Mount Corcovado quickly became a global symbol of faith and Brazilian identity. Albert Frank Cox makes history as the first black person in the world to earn a PhD. In mathematics, his achievement at Cornell University shattered racial barriers in academia and paved the way for generations of black mathematicians and scientists. Rock icons Joan Jett and Debbie Harry share a casual moment backstage during the peak of the punk and new wave era, This photograph brings together two of the most influential women in music history, celebrating their shared artistic impact. Aerial views capture the country's first ever major traffic jam on a newly opened highway. This historic bottleneck signaled the rapid rise of car ownership and the permanent transformation of the Dutch landscape by modern automotive infrastructure. An army priest is photographed wearing a camouflage cassock while performing duties near the front lines. This striking image highlights the unique intersection of faith and combat during one of the most difficult periods in military history. A Burger King menu displays the wild value of the 80s with 3 Whoppers and sides costing under $9. This nostalgic look at fast food prices serves as a stark reminder of the economic changes over the last 40 years. Football legend Diego Maradona takes to the slopes for a ski trip at the height of his global fame. This rare footage shows the athlete's natural talent and charismatic personality during a brief escape from the pressures of international stardom. A humorous infographic illustrates a universal technological struggle that has frustrated users for decades. This relatable image documents the small but persistent annoyances of the digital age that unite people across the globe. First-class passengers on a transatlantic flight enjoy the luxury of fully reclining seats that convert into beds. This golden age of travel offered a level of comfort and service that defined high-end aviation before the arrival of modern mass transit. David Bowie and Iman are photographed following their private wedding ceremony. In Florence, this union of a rock legend and a supermodel created one of the most enduring and stylish power couples in the history of global pop culture. Members of the Knights of Labor gather for a secret meeting in Philadelphia. As one of the nation's first major labor unions, they fought for an 8-hour workday and safer conditions, laying the foundation for the modern American labor movement. A Cordoba fighting dog displays the fierce features of a breed known for its extreme aggression and stamina. While the breed is now extinct, its legacy lives on as the foundational ancestor of the modern and versatile Dogo Argentino. Lieutenant Colonel Robert L. Sturm is reunited with his family after 5 years as a prisoner of war in Vietnam. While the iconic Burst of Joy photograph won a Pulitzer Prize, the moment was personally bittersweet, as Sturm had just learned his marriage was over. Disco legend Donna Summer is photographed with her young daughter during a break in her world tour. This intimate portrait reveals the private side of the Queen of Disco at the absolute peak of her musical influence and global success. 5 young boys illustrate the deep class on divide of pre-war Britain in a single frame. The Toffs and Tufts photograph showing Harrow School students beside working-class youths became a definitive social document of a nation on the brink of change. A young Albert Einstein poses for a portrait with his sister Maya. These early childhood images provide a rare look at the formative years of the man whose theories on relativity would eventually revolutionize our entire understanding of the universe. A man openly weeps as French troops depart from Marseille, leaving the city. And under the shadow of occupation, this haunting image, known as the Weeping Frenchman, serves as a universal symbol of national despair and the crushing weight of wartime loss. Franca Viola makes history as the first woman to publicly refuse a rehabilitating marriage to the man who kidnapped and assaulted her. Her courageous stand challenged centuries-old customs and eventually led to a total overhaul of Italian laws regarding sexual violence. College students react with shock and divided emotions as the not guilty verdict is, reading the OJ, Simpson murder trial. This televised moment became a national obsession, highlighting deep-seated racial tensions and the power of media in modern legal proceedings. A toddler in a KKK hood touches the shield of a black state trooper during a protest in Georgia. This powerful image, capturing a moment of innocent curiosity amidst a backdrop of hate, serves as a poignant reminder that prejudice is learned, not innate. A throwback photo captures actors Seth Rogen and James Franco during the early years of their long-standing comedic partnership. This duo went on to define a specific era of stoner comedy, producing several of the most popular and influential films of the early 2000s. A returning prisoner of war is greeted by a woman desperately holding up a photograph of her missing loved one. This heartbreaking moment captures the mixture of hope and agony that defined the lives of millions searching for family members after the war. German Chancellor Willy Brandt falls to his knees at the monument to the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising. This unscripted gesture of humility and penance, known as the knee fall, marked a major turning point in Germany's post-war relations with its neighbors. Jim Carrey, Lauren Holly, and Jeff Daniels celebrate at the premiere of Dumb and Dumber. This comedy classic cemented Carrey's status as a global superstar and became a defining hit of the decade, launching a massive franchise. An undercover detective expertly disarms an attacker during a tense protest march in Glasgow. This high-stakes moment, captured in a single frame, highlights the dangerous and often unseen work of law enforcement during periods of significant civil unrest. DNA analysis finally settles a multi-million-dollar estate battle, proving that billionaire Daniel Keith Ludwig was not the biological father of his claimant. Ludwig's foresight to freeze blood samples decades earlier ensured his final wishes were legally protected after his death. Spectators crowd the palace grounds to witness the official signing of the Treaty of Versailles. This historic agreement officially ended World War I, redrawing a map of Europe and setting the stage for the geopolitical tensions of the 20th century. A heartwarming photograph of two lifelong friends celebrating a milestone together proves the old adage that the best marriages are built on a foundation of true friendship. This candid moment captures a lifetime of shared laughter and mutual support. Soviet officer Stanislav Petrov makes a split-second decision to ignore a nuclear launch warning, correctly identifying it as a false alarm. His refusal to follow protocol and launch a retaliatory strike is credited with preventing an all-out global nuclear war. Kurt Cobain is photographed holding his young daughter Frances Bean in a rare moment of domestic peace. This intimate image provides a glimpse into the Nirvana frontman's private life, hid away from the intense spotlight of the Seattle grunge scene. Adam West poses in full costume on the set of the original Batman television series. His campy, colorful portrayal of the Caped Crusader defined the character for a generation, becoming an enduring part of pop culture history. A teenage boy is lifted onto his friend's shoulders to present a bouquet of flowers to Princess Diana. This spontaneous act of affection during a public appearance highlights the unique and enduring connection the princess shared with people across the globe. Cartoonist Kathy Guyswhite poses with a life-sized cutout of her famous creation. Her relatable comic strip focusing on the everyday struggles of modern women became a staple of American newspapers for over 30 years. Tributes pour in for Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley following his passing at the age of 74. As the original spaceman, his unique style and blistering solos helped define the sound of hard rock and influenced generations of musicians. Two young students, one black and one white, share a seat and join hands during the integration of the Boston school system. This candid image captures a rare moment of unity and hope during a period of intense social and racial conflict. A cat lady of the 1930s is photographed surrounded by her dozen feline companions in her modest apartment. This charming portrait reveals that the deep bond between humans and their cats is a timeless and universal part of domestic life. An informal photograph captures Queen Elizabeth II shortly after the birth of her fourth child, Prince Edward. This rare look at the monarch in a maternal role provides a more personal perspective on the life of the royal family behind palace doors. A shepherd from a remote mountain village poses with his children amidst their flock. This timeless scene documents the traditional pastoral way of life that has sustained rural communities in the Caucasus region for generations. A young boy runs toward his father for a final goodbye as troops depart for overseas duty. This iconic "Wait for Me, Daddy" photograph became a symbol of the personal sacrifices and family separations caused by World War II. Actress Mädchen Amick is photographed at the height of her Twin Peaks. Fame her role as Shelley Johnson made her a standout star of the cult classic series embodying the unique, mysterious aesthetic of early 90s. Television drama? George Lusk receives the infamous From Hell letter, along with a partial human kidney supposedly taken from a victim of Jack the Ripper. This terrifying package remains one of the most chilling artifacts in the history of unsolved criminal mysteries. A family enjoys a quiet moment together in Johannesburg during the final years of the apartheid era. This candid portrait documents everyday life and domesticity amidst a period of profound social tension and impending political transformation. Rare photograph captures President Woodrow Wilson in a candid moment revealing his famously poor dental health. This image serves as a reminder of the different standards of public image and medical care that existed at the beginning of the 20th century. Polar bears take up residence in an abandoned Russian research station. Peering out from the windows of the decaying structures, these striking images capture nature reclaiming the frozen outposts of human exploration in the Arctic. A neighbor of notorious killer Ed Gein enters the crime scene in horror, discovering furniture covered in human skin. Gein's gruesome crimes shocked the nation and served as the disturbing inspiration for legendary horror films like Psycho and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A group of teenagers poses in their high school hallway, perfectly encapsulating the fashion and culture of the mid-90s, from baggy flannels to oversized denim. This snapshot serves as a definitive time capsule of the grunge generation. A unique museum showcases a collection of naturally formed rocks that bear a striking resemblance to human faces. These geological curiosities attract visitors from around the world, celebrating the bizarre and artistic side of the natural world. A widow named Vera Koking stands firm in front of her boarding house, refusing to sell to Donald Trump. Her legal victory against the eminent domain seizure for a casino parking lot became a celebrated story of a small homeowner standing up to a powerful developer. A clever teenager uses a series of disguises and prosthetic makeup to sneak into his high school yearbook under 2 different names. This elaborate prank remains a legendary piece of school history, showcasing the era's classic teen rebellion and creativity. Guitarist Stevie Ray Vaughan visits a young fan battling cystic fibrosis in the hospital, fulfilling the boy's lifelong dream. This heartwarming moment of kindness highlights the legendary musician's deep connection with his fans and his generous spirit off the stage. An anti-poaching ranger sits in silence, comforting a young mountain gorilla after its mother was killed. This powerful image from Virunga National Park documents the deep emotional bonds between protectors and the endangered species they risk their lives to save. A young Conan O'Brien is photographed by John Candy while the comedian was visiting Harvard University. This rare encounter brings together 2 generations of comedy legends at the very beginning of O'Brien's journey into the world of entertainment. Wrestling legend Andre the Giant towers over fans during a public appearance at the height of his career, known as the 8th wonder of the world. His massive size and gentle personality made him a beloved figure in both sports and cinema. A mother in Nashville celebrates the record-breaking birth of her 12-pound son. This rare medical event made headlines with the hospital confirming it. Was the largest baby ever delivered at the facility, marking a joyous and truly unique family milestone. The Bashka tablet stands as the oldest surviving mention of the Croatian name in the native Glagolitic script. This stone inscription remains one of the nation's most precious historical treasures, documenting the early reign of King Demetrius Zvonimir and the birth of a national identity. London, 1880, along the River Thames, a mother and daughter watch a tall ship glide. Past their quiet observation reflects an age of sail nearing its end as tradition slowly yields to steam and industrial progress. New York City, 1945, Rose Claire Leonard peers into a department store window, witnessing television's first public demonstration after the war. The tiny flickering image hints at a future where screens would reshape entertainment news and everyday life. England, 1935. Sir Malcolm Campbell poses beside the Bluebird, its massive engine promising unheard-of speed. This machine soon shattered records, proving that human ambition and engineering could push past the once unimaginable barrier of 300 miles per hour. United States 1955 shoppers stroll grocery aisles dressed in pressed suits and polished dresses. Even routine errands carried formality, reflecting post-war optimism and a culture that treated public appearance as a point of pride. Japan, 1936. Emperor Hirohito inspects a massive sound detection device, an early attempt to hear approaching aircraft. The photograph captures a nation balancing tradition and technology as it prepared for a rapidly changing, increasingly militarized world. Western Front, 1917, a German officer and NCO operate bulky sound-detecting equipment, straining to locate enemy planes before radar warfare relied on patience physics and human hearing to anticipate danger from the skies. San Francisco, 1933 workers cling to steel as the Golden Gate Bridge rises above turbulent water. The construction embodies depression, era resolve, proving that even in hardship, monumental visions could still be forged from labor and steel. France, 1927. The Bugatti type, 41 Royale Coupe. Napoleon waits with its chauffeur nearby, radiating extravagance built for royalty. The car symbolizes an era when engineering excess and aristocratic luxury briefly shared the open road. California, 1942. 19-year-old Lydia Martinez operates a colossal hydropress shaping aircraft parts with immense force. Her presence reflects wartime necessity as young women stepped into industrial roles once reserved almost exclusively for men. Hollywood, 1942. Ava Gardner poses simply for an MGM employment questionnaire, unaware of her future stardom. The photograph freezes a turning point, capturing a young woman just before studio lights transformed her into a lasting screen icon.